let's start now. Welcome, everyone. I'm Laurent Kinet, CEO of Novable. It's a pleasure to have you all here today for this open door guided tour of the Novable Startup Scouting Platform. It will be quick, efficient, and insightful. You'll get a walkthrough of the Novable Platform by our head of product, Yifan. She'll guide you through the features, show you the new releases and the roadmap ahead. And you'll have a voice by voting on which direction is the best or the most interesting for you. You'll vote in the chat to help us decide on the next developments. We'll then have a conversation with Cécile Cordier, Head of Innovation at Engie Global Energy Management Solution. A client of Novable, she will talk about open innovation, how to partner with startups, and why Engie is using Novable for that. It will be a 40-minute ride, pretty packed, so let's start. If you have questions, please leave them in the chat, and we'll take them at the end. And be sure to stay until the end, because we have a surprise for you. So a few words about Novable in 2 minutes. Novable helps innovation professionals within large companies and corporations identify and engage with the most wide to feed their growth, innovation, or transformation projects. We do that by combining AI-based technology and the expertise of our agents. Well, we all know that corporate venturing is a growing trend, and the practice is spreading throughout the business world, and it can only but grow in the future. However, companies are still ill-equipped for this. There's so many startups out there, and we see a lot of people still using Google or Crunchbase to run scouting activities, which don't render good results, or to the contrary, too many results that they have to analyze one by one. Those databases also propose financial data, but very little information on the actual activity of startups, which is the most important thing to get when you work with innovation. So we see analysts spend thousands of hours analyzing candidates they will eventually disqualify. And our mission is this one: save our clients time down the road and find the most relevant candidates. So if they exist, we will find them. We've seen that too often, analysts suffering the SAT syndrome. Not only it's sad, but it also refers to spot, analyze, drop, and repeat. And our mission is to fight that syndrome. So our users and clients love Novable. And why? Because they can rely on an extended scouting team available upon request when they need it and focus on what really matters. So we run our campaigns on the most extensive database of 1.82 million startups, contextualized, so based on startup activity data, not only firmographics, which increases, of course, the matching relevance. So it's indeed a semantics-based matching. So we go beyond keywords to make the technology understand details and nuances, even from a 2-page briefing. So we make sure that the matching companies truly offer what our clients look for. So you can use a search engine on the platform, you'll get immediate results, but not validated. And you can also launch campaigns supported by Novable agents who will validate companies and so deliver you validated results in golden baskets, as we call it, within 2 days. And you can also act on results, tag companies, share them, take a first step of due diligence. So we deliver value, real value to our clients. We are proud to say that 100% of our customers are satisfied. We have zero churn on the yearly plans so far. And we can see it in a number of campaigns launched on the platform since we started it. In total, we have delivered more than 12,000 validated companies in golden baskets. So if you do the math, it's an average of 40 companies per campaign. So that's Novable in a nutshell. We work with large companies and corporations in Europe and in the United States with any industry, since they're all concerned with innovation. So don't hesitate to ask questions in the chat. So now I leave the floor to Yifan, our head of product. She will take you for a quick guided tour of the product backstage. So Yifan, your turn.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Yifan. I'm product manager at Novable, and very happy today to be here and to walk you through our innovation platform very quickly. So just an overview of what we're doing today, we'll be answering the following questions. So what can you get from Novable? It's basically the value we deliver to you. The second one is how to use the platform. We'll do an actual demo on the application a bit later. Then I'll be introducing to you our newest feature. The best practices part is really important to get the best out of the tool. And we'll end on a more interactive note on the next steps, as Laurent mentioned. So to start, what can you get from Novable is list of companies whose activities match your description. And in Novable, there's two ways of doing that. This list can be rather short or long depending on the use case. And the first way of doing this is by using the deep matching powered campaigns. Deep matching is the in-house developed algorithm that is at the core of Novable. So the big focus here is really the quality in contrast with the speed. And the second one is what we call the real-time search, our new feature that is focused on speed. So we'll first dive into the first one, the deep matching campaigns, and we'll have a look at how that works. So I'm just gonna share my screen. Just a second so that I share the right content. Here I'm on the Novable platform on my dashboard, so I see all the campaigns that I have. What actually is a campaign? For us, it's a way to express what you're looking for in order to receive a list of companies whose activity are matching your description. So we call this list a golden basket. You will be able to, with the campaign, to talk to our algorithm just as you're talking to a consultant to get this golden basket. And how do we use that on the platform? Let me show you. We have a small button here. You can use the same here, but basically you can create a campaign on our platform pretty easily. I'm going to cheat a bit from here. I'm going to use the one that I prepared yesterday for today's purpose. So this is how it looks like on the platform. The first step we expect is that you describe the type of company or product you're looking for. So here you enter a description of the activity. Again, don't tell the machine what you are doing, why you're looking for this. That will bring noise, and the machine will probably get it the wrong way. So it's very important. I insist that you spend the correct amount of time on this part, as this is really the basis of the whole campaign, whole project. So in this example, I'm looking for software companies active in HR tech, using ATS with videos as core part of the process of hiring people. So basically, that's the standpoint, what I'm looking for. Second step is to enter some topics for us. So here we expect 2 to 8 topics to set the whole context of the search, because there's so many innovative companies in our database. As Laurent mentioned, there are 1.8 million companies. So please help the machine narrow it down. The example of companies and geographical filters are optional, so I won't insist too much on them. Then from here, you click on preview. You will click on save. You'll have what the machine understood from what you input. I recommend you save the draft and preview the result. Here you have a glance at what you will be getting in your actual golden basket. So you just feel if you're on track or not. And when you feel you're not on track, you're always welcome to edit it again and preview again. So here we are, and now it seems nice. I'm going to publish this campaign, write a description, HR Tech Project, and there we are. Submit the campaign, you get the results here. So here you get what we call a golden basket. These are the results provided by the fifth version of our deep matching algorithm that we develop in-house or with our data scientist. And it's really tailored for this specific usage. You might wonder how the results are ranked. Actually, they're ranked in terms of semantic closeness to your input. Why semantic? And if there's only one thing you'll remember from this talk, I really hope that this is the one. Actually, Novable uses AI, NLP techniques to really grasp the semantic relationships between text, just as the human does when he's reading, right? And that's why it's so powerful, because it's not just trivial words matching, word comparison that other search engines might use. It's actually smart. So here I wanted to also highlight the fact that this list is highly related to the quality of your description. It makes sense, as that's what you're feeding the machine, right? So you do want to pay attention to how you formulate your entries and make sure that the content is really relevant. So that's also why it's totally normal that all companies on this list are not exactly on your target. And that's why also you want to involve a Novable agent throughout the process, because the human factor is really key in the innovation process. And we'll get back to this point a bit later on. So, okay, let's have a look at the data we show here. We have employee information, founded on information, and we have some general description of the of what the enterprise what the company is doing. And it's but we do encourage you to also look at the website of the company, because it happens a lot that some company matching your needs are not only having one activity, right? And sometimes at first glance on this page, you might wonder what that some results are not really related to your search. But if you dig further in maybe the website, you'll be surprised in general. So there's a reason why those companies are there. And then you have some general context, you have the topics, and some shortcuts that are just a bit more friendly to use on that page. At some point, you might want to get some extra information, like the people behind the company, the activity level of the company, like if they're active in general these days, financials, or whatever, to get a bit further into your process of collaboration. So just need to ask request for a one-pager to get it very easy. I'll quickly go through these buttons. If any information is wrong on this page or something that you want to tell us about this company, please report it. Don't hesitate to share this information with your colleagues. Follow the company so that future changes in the employee number, etc., any news we might spot are notified to you, so that you can track the progress of a particular company. And most importantly, favorite it so that you have them all at the same spot and you can find them back very easily. The next step we expect from you on the campaign is to tag your result, because we need you to tell the algorithm how it did the work for you, so it can learn from your answer and iterate. So you can assign a miss or a match or miss tag to each company of your golden basket. And this is one of the key value of Novable, because a campaign is not just a one shot. You write your problem and that's it. You get a list and that's it. No, problems are really complex in innovation, and there's no easy way to formulate that. So that's why we always solve problems with multiple campaigns, and we do iteration to get closer to the matches within each campaign. let me just also talk about a bit the use case in general. Why do we want to use this campaign form to do startup scouting? The principal use case is to conduct innovation project, to thoroughly study one particular solution. It's also possible to monitor the market to see if anything is happening on your interest domain. It might not be the quickest way to obtain the list, because we really recommend you involving the human in this process to discuss the strategy, how to split into more specific campaigns, how to formulate, how to iterate, etc. But it does save your time, and generally very high quality results are delivered. And obviously, I cannot cover everything here. So if you have questions, please drop them in the chat, and we'll answer some of them during the Q&A session. So that's it for this part. We have a question? Maybe we will leave them to...
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. We'll leave them to the end of the session as we planned then. Now I'm going to move to the introduction of our newest feature, which is here, the real-time search. That represents the second level of scouting, which in contrast to the quality focus, will be focusing on speed. Super simple, very easy how to use it. We just have to type 3. We recommend 3 to 10 keywords and eventually select the geographical filter that you're interested in, and you get your results in real time. What's the use case of this functionality? Actually, users go there usually before a campaign, just to have a quick overview and also to know if something even exists. They will use it for researching, for preparing for meeting quickly, just before the meeting, or they just want to have some general idea on particular fields that they're not familiar with. So this is really easy to use compared to campaigns, right? You have total autonomy, and you can iterate as many times as you want, and it's just real time is fast. What you get here is a list of 20 companies provided according to your entry. And we kept this list short on purpose for now to encourage you to try different sets of keywords, because usually the first results are the most relevant. But if you want more, it's very easy. Ask us through this little chatbot, and we'll come up to you with some more results. And yeah, do save the ones that you like, and you can actually find out more information about them in this tab, just as the previous view. Yeah, actually, I wanted to say also that this functionality is very new, and we appreciate every feedback that can help us improve it. So that's it for this part. I'll jump back to the my slides. Let me just share. Here we are. Okay. So now let me give you some tips about how to make the best of it, of the Novable tool, the best practices on the Novable platform. The first one, when you find an interesting company, favorite it, because exploring and assessing takes so much time. So save what you found so that you can find them back later. Second, invite your colleagues to the platform. Innovation is really a collaborative process, right? And you want to share your findings with your colleagues that might have certain expertise, or colleagues that have more time to assess, or also with your agent, which is important. You can also carry on multiple projects at the same time with several users using the platform at the same time. That's totally possible on Novable. Third, save your draft. When you're constructing the formulation of what you're looking for, as I said, the formulation and the level of detail is very important to get what you want. So you don't have to rush to finish it. You can just save your draft, discuss with your colleagues, discuss with your agent, and finish it whenever you want. And last but not least, and most important, most importantly, talk to your agent. This is very important. I do emphasize a lot on the importance of the human factor, because that's one of the strengths of Novable. We don't leave you alone with the tool and you make you figure out what to do with it. No, we're here for you throughout the whole innovation process. What you can do first, you will define your scouting strategy with your agent. For example, how to break bigger problem down to smaller pieces that are better fit to conduct the scouting exercise. Because it's very important to know that you need to be specific enough to get result that makes sense. If your strategy is just about VR and AR innovation, how would the machine be smart enough to provide you with the most interesting companies among the 1.8 million database? It's just not possible. So the level of detail is important. That brings us to another point where you want to get your agent's help. They are really the experts in talking to the algorithm accurately. So, and they know how to fine tune the descriptions to get better results. So I suggest that you start by writing your strategies, save them into a draft mode, and make your agent help you rework them. In the beginning of your journey with Novable, you will have meetings with your Novable agent so that you can learn together how to do it right for your use case, and he'll give you tricks. They'll give you tricks about how to do that. Third point, ask your agent to help you iterate. Maybe your first batch is not satisfactory, but I'm sure you'll need that first step to explore and to grasp some other key elements that you didn't know you needed, but that are crucial to your campaign. And that's why we iterate until you get what you want, if that exists. Otherwise, you'll also know that what you're looking for doesn't really exist. And the fourth point is to get more real-time search result. Just ask us. What we've seen a few times is that users turn a search into a campaign to save time and to get better quality results, because we leverage the semantic advantage in the campaigns. So you are welcome to do that too. Yeah, so that's it for the guided tour. We'll answer your questions during the Q&A, as we said. And now I would like to ask your opinion on what use case or improvement you would like to see happening on Novable, because we do have an existing roadmap now. But this is a good opportunity we wanted to seize to get the opinion from the users. So here we have 5 improvements that we could make. I will just publish the poll so that you can see. Can you see them? Yes, I think so. Yeah. I get some yes. Yeah. Okay, let me just detail that for you. The monitoring use case is about when a campaign has new results, or a particular company has some new updates on the website, etc. You want to grasp that. The reporting use case is pretty straightforward, having some dashboard charts, the one-pagers, to have more information about each particular company. The collaborating use case, you can leave comments when you're doing mix and match. Is this a myth for you? My colleagues think no. Export your results so that you can share. Permission management when you're a lot on the platform, you name it. A crucial point in Novable is also the data behind us, the people. We can add some more information if you're interested about the people behind companies, the financial patent related to certain companies might be interesting for innovation, right? Data intelligence, that's what Novable using machine learning and AI can provide as the insight we can provide, whether it has been active ESG, how we categorize this. Is it a B2B? Is it in specific industries? How do we get insight from a particular company? And the last option is anything that we didn't think of, but you might want. So I'm having the pool open. I think people can see that, and I'll let you vote for that. And that's it for me. That's it for my part. I will leave the floor to Laurent to go on for the next.
Just one thing, the audience can vote in the chat, right? Or
yes. In polls. In polls, you have the little toggle. In polls, you have the poll, and
okay,
great. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Yifan. I will reshare this. Okay, up. Can you see my screen again? Okay, so thank you, Yifan. Yes, we can see that Novable is particularly useful when it comes to complex problems or very specific requests, which happen very often with corporate innovation, of course. Okay, so now we have the pleasure to have Cécile Cordier with us. Cécile is Head of Innovation at Engie Global Energy Management Solutions, to make it short. She's a client of Novable. Hello, Cécile, and welcome.
Hello, and thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you for being here with us. We'll have a short conversation about your experience and yourself. But first question, can you briefly introduce yourself, who you are, and what is your position within Engie?
Okay. Well, first, myself, I'm Cécile Cordier. So my current position is I'm heading the innovation, not of the whole Engie. I mean, that was a bit ambitious in your post, but really of one of the business unit that is focusing on energy management and trading. Okay. And I've been in Engie for like the past century, I think. And it's a quite interesting company because it's in energy. And when I joined, we were really focusing on, liberalization and the emergence of markets. So I started more in the strategy and finance division. And then I moved to energy management and trading, where actually we have seen also quite a lot of new stuff happening with new markets like the CO2 markets. We have seen new markets in all countries, lots of trading, and nowadays we also see lots of innovation on the technology side that are happening and impacting the markets, like obviously windmills and PV that are there since a decade or so, but it's a very moving industry. It's something where things tend to move quite a lot.
And I guess you also have a personal interest in startups yourself, on a personal note.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I have a personal interest for innovation per se. I've always been really working with innovative stuff in Engie, and quite recently I actually changed a bit from internal innovation in Engie to more external ones, and I started looking a bit what was happening in the big wild world outside. And I found that the world of startups and entrepreneurs was really fascinating. So actually, a couple of years ago, I started becoming an angel investor in some network that exists in Belgium, and that has allowed me to also touch firsthand innovators and all this ecosystem that is very, very inspiring.
Yeah. Okay, so I see you know about startups, and at the same time you hold an innovation-related position in a large company, so both sides of the table, and so you might have some insights on the key drivers that encourage companies like yours to engage in open innovation and specifically to partner with startups. So can you elaborate a bit on your views and the ones of Engie on those drivers?
Okay. I think it's some kind of a journey. In the beginning, people tend to, you need to start doing things yourself. You do some incubation projects and stuff like that, and you want to develop things. And then at some point you realize that this is just not going to make it. There's so many things out there. There's the technology innovation, that's everything that's moving around the digital. There are the customer expectation. They want more more environmental stuff. They want also a different experience. And at some point, you just realize that if you want to do everything yourself, it's not going to work. So you need to onboard the external world, as I was saying, and it's also something that I lived personally in the beginning. When you start working, you want to do things yourself, and then you realize there's really an added value in collaborating and in including all this intelligence from the external world. So I really believe that as a company, we have a role to play in the society, and it's also very important that we collaborate with many stakeholders, because that gives us also a grasp of what's living in our ecosystem, amongst our customers, amongst the countries in which we operate. So we need to be connected in many different ways. Mm-hmm. And the startup world in particular gives us, first, all this innovation and this complexity that we cannot master internally. But it also gives us, let's say, a view of what's living in the new generation. And I think that's extremely important for a company to also know what motivates the young generation. What do they want to innovate in? Because these entrepreneurs, usually they go, with their heart, with their guts, and they go for a startup. It's something that's really dear to their heart. And by working with them, it allows us also to anticipate a bit the world, and also to be more in tune with our own employees, with the new generation that we hire. So there are countless benefits. Maybe I was not very structured, but it's really the key is it's in all directions that we have things to gain by working with startups, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and very interesting, and I totally share those views. But on the other hand, they also come with their challenges, right, and difficulties. And one of them, maybe the most prominent of all, is the difficulty of identifying the right partner to work with. Since, as you said, there are so many companies in the world, it's like looking for a needle in the haystack. And from the Engie perspective, what challenges do you face the most among all of those challenges ahead?
Well, I think you just put the right name of it. There's such a stack out there. It's how do you know where to start? Yeah. If you make a Google search, I was doing that while Yifan was speaking. I was thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to do environmental trading. Wow, 3,000 million result. That was the answer from Google. I was like, okay, this is not a way to go. So if you want to work and to collaborate with external stakeholders, with startups, with small companies, making a Google search, 300 millions, forget it. You're getting everything from company to just a paper and it's just useless. Yeah. So historically, people use a lot their network. I know someone who works in this domain, and then it's gonna. So that's one way that can help, obviously, but it doesn't have this serendipity effect that you get when you do a Google search, because you basically rely on your own network, and you may actually miss some very interesting connection that could come from somewhere that you didn't expect. Mm-hmm. It's still a very useful way to work. The alternative that basically all big companies do is to work with dedicated teams, either internal, or you just hire a consultant and you say, okay, I now want to do biomethane trading, and what are the companies? And you have a very specific topic, and then you can work. But it's very, very expensive, and so you do need these teams internally, obviously, but you want to use them with some parsimony, I would say. You want to use them at the right space, and you don't want to use them maybe just to get ideas and stuff like that. So there's a balance between 300 million and a very costly, very fine-tuned search. And I think this is the challenge that we face as a companies. How do we position ourselves between the network, too limited, specific consultancy, quite expensive, and Google search, quite random, let's say.
Yeah, and that's a perfect transition to my last question. So Engie is using Novable. That could be one of the solutions. So can you tell us how is the platform, the Novable platform, helping Engie identify innovation trends and business opportunities within the energy market specifically?
Actually, just as the rest, it is a journey. It is something that we started using a few months ago. So it's initially I had very wild dreams, like we're going to spot the perfect startup and just invest in it, and it's going to be perfect. And then I realized, okay, maybe we need to actually use Novable and learn how to use it. And Yifan made a brilliant work of getting the tricks and saying a bit how to get used to it.
Mhm.
And apart from this use case, that is ultimately the goal, which is to identify the startups with which you can work. I actually have found other use cases that I found really interesting in, let's say, a journey approach. One of which is, I think you mentioned it. You said, okay, innovation, it needs a collaborative process. It needs to be spread in the company. And lots of people in very big companies, they're focused, and it's very useful. They're very focused on their process, their efficiency, maximizing and really optimizing what they do. And if you come to them and you say, okay, you need to look a bit what's outside, and you should work with a startup, they don't have the time. And I really found that Novable, and in particular this very rapid search, is a very easy way to onboard someone. Say, okay, but just give me 10 minutes of your time. I'm going to show you something in 10 minutes. And the fact that you can grasp 10 minutes of a colleague, it's okay.
Yeah.
Asking him for a full day to visit a couple of startups or to spend half a day specifying a search, it may be complicated. But if you want to work on this, let's say, cultural transformation and all this journey, having this and coming with really useful results, because 300 million, again, useless, it's something that spikes their interest. And so that's a very good use case. And the other one that we actually used is on some topics. Obviously we still do quite a lot of internal innovation, be it on artificial intelligence. We have some teams working on blockchain, and on some topics we really want to remain state of the art internally because it's our core business. But to remain state of the art, you need to know what's happening outside. And on that topic, where actually the topic is much better defined, I really found that the deep search, really, describing what you do, what is your state of the art, and using Novable to really benchmark and to have some kind of watch of what startups are coming with or start to come with for the topics on which you want to remain really ahead. That's quite useful. So the let's say it's not the golden basket, but the golden aim, which is to identify the startup which we're going to cooperate. We haven't materialized it yet, to be fully honest. We have already these two very useful results. And what I found great is that Novable, you have the agents, but you have all the team, and you can really exchange and say, okay, this could help me a bit better, and it's a journey that we build together in order to get to the ultimate achievement. So, very interesting startup that we saw. On some topics, we spotted some startups. We didn't conclude yet, but we did spot a few ones. And then these two effects that actually really contribute to this transformation that I really believe is absolutely necessary, like opening the mind of people, breaking the silos, having collaboration, and that's really a very, very useful tool in that respect.
Yeah, thank you very much, Cécile. Unfortunately, time is running out, but it was very insightful, and I hope the audience now has a good view on the value Novable provides to innovation teams, but also the use cases that can be fulfilled with such a technology. R&D, procurement, trends monitoring, M&A, anything where open innovation and collaboration with startups are involved. So it was very insightful. Thank you very much. I don't know if you have questions in the chat. We see Pascal typing. We'll wait if it's a question or not. I will reshare up.
We do have a question here. How does the onboarding process look like? I don't know if Laurent, you might want to take this one.
Yeah. Yes, of course. We take our clients onboarding very seriously, since we do not leave them alone in front of a SaaS platform and let them try to figure out how to use it. As Cécile pinpointed, it's a collaborative journey with us. So the onboarding of a new client usually takes a couple of meetings to make sure to understand both the corporate strategy behind, but also to best formulate the briefing for the first campaign. And this first campaign usually acts as the benchmark for all the campaigns that will follow. It's a way to get to know each other, to understand the underlying and fundamental criteria of this specific business or specific entity within a larger corporation. And it's done by one of our Novable agents who is dedicated to the client and improve his knowledge over time by the client. So the onboarding is made through 2 meetings. Yeah, I think we have another question from Pascal to Cécile. Is Novable an integral part of your processes, or do you use it on an ad hoc basis? Do you have people internally who have the right skills to use the Novable platform?
So it's more on an ad hoc basis. As I said, it's a journey. So this is something that we are progressively integrating in the process. So it's more on ad hoc right now. And the people having the skills, I mean, with the onboarding, we have a couple of people who are fully formed to do the full search. But really, the real-time search, it's very easy to use. So that one, I wouldn't say everybody can use it, but it's quite easy. So we have a couple of people who can be relay, and for the rest, it's a very easy platform, and ergonomy is just fine.
Okay. Yeah, time is really running out. If you have other questions, you don't hesitate to send us your questions by any means, and we'll answer you, of course. And that's it. Thank you, Yifan, Cécile, for your contribution, and thank you all for attending. And have a nice day ahead. See you next time.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.
See you.